Thanks so much for having us. My name is Don Wyndham, and I'm with International Children's Network, and obviously with the Matsiko World Orphans Choir. And hopefully we'll see you guys at 1:30 today. They do all kinds of songs and solos. I think you'll be blown away by the talent that these kids possess. And they are orphaned and at-risk children who at one time had absolutely no hope for a future. Nobody cared about them. Nobody bothered with them at all. But because of people here, like you in this room, touched their lives, these children, and many like them, now have the opportunity to go all the way through the university and become doctors, lawyers, teachers, mechanics. We now have even a young man, he's a heart surgeon. He was an orphan, sponsored. And he's now in the bush villages of Uganda, where Albert Schweitzer was. And he's helping the villages. He's helping those kids that at one time had no hope at all. And that's what all of these kids do, is they go back into their villages. They change the lives of those kids, and then the country, and then also the world, just by all of us connecting and making a difference. So it's a wonderful thing. Also, these kids always tell me, so I can't forget this time, they always want every day, can we get 20 sponsors? Can we get 20 sponsors? So I wanted to put that out there that if you're interested at all, you can find out more at the table to sponsor a child. Truly makes a difference in the life. It truly will set that child free, and they're representatives of just that. So we can't thank you enough. And if you see these bracelets, they make them. It just donates to the home that we're building in Liberia and also Philippines and Peru. And it's $10, but really it's a $10 donation to that. 100% of the money goes there. But these kids wanted to make these. It's the only way they can say thank you. It's the only way possible. So they made these to give to those that give to that project. And they like to put it on and all that. So if you're interested in that as well, please feel free to give to that. Otherwise, I want to introduce the world's greatest children's choir, and that is the Matsiko World Orphans Choir.
supposed to talk after that? Everybody's looking for love. Everybody's looking for light. We're all looking for how to live our lives as fully as that. Wouldn't it be great if you just danced and bounced through your life like that? Yeah. So the title of my talk this morning is Living Life to the Fullest, and that's a pretty amazing example of it. Living life to the fullest in spite of whatever. In spite of your childhood, your upbringing, the place where you were born, the situation you find yourself in spite of all of that, discovering that it's really about living life to the fullest. It's really about expressing ourselves and being in that, well, just being in that experience that we just had. And the tears and the way that we're moved, you know, we get to see ourselves, right? We get to see another heart, another pair of eyes, another smile. And so often we're locked into our own, well, all the things that we've talked about these last few weeks. We're locked into our brains, we're locked into that conversation, we can't do it, we don't know how to do it, we're not good enough. We're locked into our heart space, our feeling of overwhelm, our feeling of pain, nobody loves us, nobody appreciates us, nobody cares about us. We're locked into this protection mechanism that we talked about last week. And all we're looking for is love, right? That's all we want. All we want is to experience the light. We just want to experience the love and light of the universe. We want to experience the love and light of our lives, of our hearts. We want to experience that as we connect that with each other. That's all we want. So this last few weeks has been really about walking into a fuller awareness that that which we're looking for is completely available to us. It's not only completely available to us, it's actually who we are. It's actually who we are. Every week we've ended this conversation, every week we've ended with, remember who you are. Remember, we have to remember who I am, who this is here that's having this experience. And yet, we always think that our spiritual enlightenment, our ability to live in love and to live in light it's kind of, well, if we could just read one more book or take one more seminar or do one more class or study one more thing or get rid of one more old fear or do one more, somehow it's out there, right? It's out there and we have to work at it. We have to work at becoming that or discovering it or we had an interesting conversation in our Inward Journey class. We're talking about the mystical experience and the experience of oneness. And it's so easy. And it was in the context of the cosmic light, being in the light, experiencing the light, experiencing the love, like we just did. And it was so interesting to have that conversation and how easy it is to think about the mystical experience as, you know, something kind of esoteric. And it's a little special and maybe a little weird, and we're not really sure whether we're ever going to get there, but we like to know about other people who've gotten there, and we like to really hear their stories about the woo-woo things that happen to them, because it's like cool and interesting, and we think maybe that will happen to us too, and it's somewhere out there. Michael Singer, in this last section of The Untethered Soul, which has been our book for all month, he talks about this, and he says it's a little bit like we've discovered a beautiful meadow in the woods somewhere, and the flowers are blooming, and the trees are around the outside, and there's this beautiful light that streams into the meadow. It's a clear, beautiful light. And we're drawn to this meadow over and over again. And we feel so alive when we're there. We feel so wonderful that we decide we're going to live in the meadow. We decide we're going to leave everything behind. We're going to live in the meadow. And so we go to the meadow and we begin to build ourselves a house. And we build ourselves this beautiful, snug little bungalow, and we can be in there all by ourselves, and we can just be not bothered by all the stuff and all the things that are going on out there in the world and the people and the whatever. We can just be in our snug little house in this beautiful meadow. We're in there and we're studying and we're experiencing and we're noticing that the light is really bright when it comes in. And so we put shutters on the windows and we discover that the light is still really bright. So we put a door and we close ourselves in and we're so happy to be by ourselves. And then we realize there's no light. And so we begin to light the candles. And we discover that we have to find the batteries for the flashlight, and we begin to try to figure out how to generate our own light. We spend so much time figuring out how to generate our own light, and that we've forgotten. It's just outside the window. And all those walls and the shutters and we've built that. We've built that out of the thoughts that we say to ourselves, that inner roommate, that maniac who's constantly tearing us down, and we've built those walls out of the hurts of our hearts and the past, the unhealed past, and all the places that we've allowed ourselves to become closed, and we've built the walls around us. The light is always there. The light in the meadow never stops shining. And what we've talked about for these last few weeks is to find ways to open the shutters, open the door, actually to begin to break down the walls. And do you see, when we break down the walls, what do we discover? The light is always there. The light is always here. The love and the light is always here. And when we break all those walls down, we discover who we are, that we are the light. That meadow is the truth of our being. That meadow is the place where we discover ourselves. And each one of us has that. Each one of us is that. Each one of us is a part of that. And it's so challenging to talk about this. I find this so challenging. We had this discussion, talking about mysticism and oneness. It's so hard to talk about because the moment that we talk about it, we begin to intellectualize it. And we think, oh, yes, I understand oneness. And yes, I know about the light. And we have sort of this intellectual experience of it, an intellectual understanding of it. We don't really have an experience of it. We don't viscerally get it within our being so that we can understand who we are. And yet sometimes the framework will help us. Sometimes some framework will give us a ladder we can climb up on toward that place, towards that knowing. And so I want to talk about the kingdoms of consciousness. The kingdoms of consciousness, because that's really what we're talking about. Every week, every single week, we've ended in exactly the same place. We want to become aware that we're aware. We want to become conscious of being conscious. We want to discover that it is that place that says, I am aware of being aware, I am conscious of being conscious, that is the I am. That's the you that you are, that stands behind and that has become actually confined by these walls that we're breaking down. So these kingdoms of consciousness, we find them in lots of different places, written up in lots of different ways. This particular rendition comes from Marcia Sutton and Lloyd Strong. These kingdoms of consciousness. And so the first kingdom of consciousness, we're all really familiar with it. This is usually when we come, many of us come crawling into a Science of Mind, a New Thought church. We are in victimhood. Everything is happening to us, and we are tired. We are sick and tired of being sick and tired. This is where, it's the boss or it's the partner. If only they would be better, or it's the economy out there, or it's my past, or you don't know what happened in my history, or whatever those things are. And we feel ourselves unable to handle that. Everything is done to us. And I'm sure that all of us have spent some time in this place, hopefully not too long. But this is the place where most of us start. And when we're in this place, we are inside our house and the windows are shuttered and the door is slammed shut. Because this is how we're experiencing life. Now, the second kingdom of consciousness is where everything happens by me. This is what happens when we discover that we are actually the masters of our own ship, captains of our own ship, masters of our own soul. That we actually can make a difference in our own lives. We learn about affirmations. We learn about setting intentions. We learn about taking responsibility. We begin to take responsibility for our lives. Maybe not responsibility for the thing that happened to us in our past, but we take responsibility for how we continue to deal with it and how we are moving forward in spite of it. We take responsibility for our choices and for how we want to decide to have our lives. And so this is, everything happens by me. Yes, I can do it. Yes, I can make my life happen. Yes, I can. And this is the place where we learn about how important our attitude is and how important it is to think positively and expect good things. And it's a powerful, powerful leap forward when we begin to take responsibility and we leave behind victimhood. It's a powerful place in consciousness. And then as we continue to grow spiritually, we discover that maybe that's not all there is. Maybe it's not just me making everything happen. And we begin to talk about everything happens through me. We begin to talk about there's a power and presence in the universe, and it is moving through me. And I'm allowing Spirit to guide me, and I'm trusting the process, and I'm letting things happen. And this is the place where we surrender to that larger life. We surrender to the presence and the power of the divine as it's moving through us. We have a beautiful song, Use Me, that we sing here, that was written by Ricky Byers and Beckwith and Michael Beckwith, Use Me. That song is a beautiful example of Kingdom 3 consciousness. Use me, Spirit. Let me be the place where it flows through. And this is a wonderful place in consciousness where we go beyond just what I can do and what I think and what I want. These are not set aside, but they're now surrendered into the way that I choose. And now I'm allowing Spirit to guide me. I'm allowing Spirit to bring that forward. I'm allowing it to the light to shine through me. I become as clear a vessel as I can, as clear a channel for the divine. The third kingdom, a very powerful place. And then finally, this fourth kingdom, we don't talk about very much. We don't talk about it. This is everything happens as me. Everything happens as me. This is the kingdom of conscious awareness. And so we move from victimhood to responsibility. We slide into surrender, sometimes being the dark night of the soul. Often we have to give up some of the thoughts that we had about making it happen and doing it right and being on track and having it all go and I've got to be whatever that is. We have to actually surrender that into a place of allowing. And then we begin to become consciously aware of the I am that I am. We touch this place. We touch this place. And yet what we want to recognize is that in some form or fashion, the truth is we're always living in this place. This is the place where life is as me, living as me. My very life, your very life, the life divine. Not like it's coming from behind and through me, but actually as me. And so in the book, The Untethered Soul, he talks about this. He talks about this as you want to fall behind your thought. You fall behind your triggered emotion. You fall behind the thing that's going on. And what do you find there when you fall behind? When you fall behind those things, what you discover that it's all about being conscious. It's noticing that you can notice, being aware that you are aware. This falling behind, he says, I call it taking a step back. When we take a step back, we recognize that there is someone that we are, there's an I that can see these things that are happening. And who is that I? Over and over and over again, we've come to this question all month. Who am I? Who is this I? Not the egoic I, not the egoic I that makes things happen and has to figure it out and be all on track and get it all going. But the I that I am, that is the very power and presence of life itself manifesting as each one of us. What is this I? And how do we move into an experience of that? Not just words. Oh yes, I know that we're all one, and I know that I am, but to really experience it. So I spend a lot of time personally. I play with images and metaphors, and I try to feel my way into it. Like, what does that feel like? How does that work? How do I know when I'm in that spot? And so a couple of things that really help me. The first one, I've used this image a lot. It has, yeah, it's just, this is the place. I wish I could just take it in my heart and just put it in yours. So we're going to just try it with the words. And I trust that the words carry all the flavor and meaning. I know you've had this experience. Think about it. It's one life, the life that I am. One life, one life, one life, one power, one presence. And it's right where I am, and you are, and you are, and you are, and you are. And that your life, your very life is the divine making itself manifest. It's not flowing through you. It's not coming to you. Actually, it is you. And so just think about our candle lighting. Think about any candle lighting you've ever been to. You have the one light, the one flame, and you light another candle off of it, and you have two flames, and they're identical, aren't they? Then you light another candle, and now you have three flames, and they're all identical. And then you light all the flames all around the room. One flame, absolutely identical in every place. Exactly the same flame in every place. No more, no less, nothing different about it. That flame over there isn't smaller or more individualized or more human or more anything. Do you see? It's the same flame, the same life. The same life here and here and here and here and here. The one life, one same life in every place, in every location, in all of us, in all beings everywhere. One life in all beings everywhere. So imagine now that flame that we see on every candle, imagine that flame is life. Now imagine that life, that flame in every tree, every bird, every star, every atom, every being, everything that you can imagine. One life showing up everywhere. And do you see that you didn't have to become any different than you are right now to know that? You are already that. What keeps us from experiencing it is just the little house that we've built. We've built around ourselves, thinking that we were protecting the I am that I am. But what we did was cut ourselves off from our conscious awareness of the light. That's all we've done. We didn't make the light go away, and we didn't change ourselves. All we did was create a wall between us and the light. And as we know the truth of who we are, and we let that wall crumble, we discover, oh, I was there all along. As me, the divine, as me, life as me, as the very being that I am. So as we think about this experience of the universal life, the power and presence as me, another way that I've come to feel this within myself, and I share it with you, perhaps it will assist in the experience of it, is I think of us as a place where the divine is breaking through into creation. So you can imagine that here we are, we stand in creation, and it's like we break through. Wow, it's hot out here. Wow, I didn't know it was going to be like this. Those are weird looking people. I know they're just, okay, I don't really know what I'm doing, but it's pretty interesting out here. And if you imagine that we're peeking through, we're breaking through into like this experience, now imagine that like a giant cape stretched out behind you, a giant cape stretched out behind you is infinity, is the very life divine, the infinite reality, the infinite life divine. And right here where you are, it has broken through into creation. And here, I'm in the world, I'm in creation, I'm having this experience like, wow, this is pretty interesting. And here, I've fallen back, and I realize that I'm the divine, infinite reality that's broken through. And I can play all I want, and I can do what I want, and I can experience it all, and I can, wow, or I can fall back that one step. If I fall back that one step, do you see I'm instantly aware of the infinite reality, the infinite of life. It's streaming out from me in all directions that has right here in this moment broken through as me, as you. The infinite reality, the one life, the one power and presence is living its life as you. So when we speak and we're conscious that we're conscious, when we're aware of being aware, we fall back that one step into the divine reality of who we are, into the presence of who we are. And now when we speak as God. We speak as the divine. We speak as that one infinite power and presence making itself known as us. Now we speak the word of love. Now our mouths are words of love. Now our heart is the place where the divine heart shows up. Our hands are the place where the divine is actually making itself manifest and working in the world. Our eyes are the way that the divine sees the divine, the way that God sees God, and life sees life. We are the very place where life is breaking through into consciousness, into the ability to see, oh, look, I can live here or here, and here and here. And wow, this is kind of fun. Sometimes it looks like this, and sometimes it looks like that. And I can play all I want. All I want to do is not get stuck here. You see, if I'm stuck here, I don't remember all of this. I don't remember all of this. I don't know that it's here. But the moment I step to this, I have the infinite power and presence of the universe to support me, to be me, as me, to move into the world. When we are aware that we are aware, when we are conscious that we are conscious, we discover the I that we are. We discover this amazing presence. And we don't have to go to a mountaintop to do it. We don't have to sit in an ashram. We don't have to meditate for 30 minutes, 30 hours, whatever it is. All of those things help. Every bit of it helps. But the point of every single bit of our spiritual practice is to wake us up, to discover that there's nowhere to go. It's not out there. It's waking up right here, right in this moment, in this life, in this reality, and saying, this is the presence of God right here, moving in the world.
Yes. Yes.
So how do I want to do that? How do I want to be that? Do I want to show up as that? Do I want to live here and show up as that and keep peeking this part through? Or do I want to live here stuck here? So there's lots of other ways that I try to get a hold of this, because it's got to be real to us. It can't just be words. It has to be real to us. So there's lots of places where we can feel living life to the fullest. Yeah, right? You get it, right? This is like living life to the fullest. This is life breaking through. Yes?
Yes.
The flower, boom, here I am. The dolphins playing, the hummingbirds. I mean, hummingbirds are just really the coolest things I've ever seen. And the sequoia tree, this 1,000-year-old being just standing there. Just being. I mean, what an amazing way, all these ways that life is breaking through into the physical reality, into expression. And experiencing itself is all of these things. And we could have put a million pictures up there, you know, everything that you can think of, an atom to a quasar to everything. Living life to the fullest. Yeah, other ways and places it seems pretty easy to see. Living life to the fullest, right? Looking into the eyes of a child, watching them run and play, uninhibited, beautiful dancing, singing. Right, even ourselves, when we see somebody dancing so free and effortless and beautiful and expressing and breaking through the boundaries. Anytime we break through the boundaries and with our meditation and our experience of going within into the oneness, do you see, I see all those, I can see those. Can you see the divine breaking through there? Right? So the problem is most of us don't dance like that, do we? Yeah, we don't. No, I don't really paint, and I sing a little, but I'm not somebody that's going to win American Idol, that's for sure. And I'm more of an appreciator of the arts, and I like to play, but how many of us actually live our lives that way? Most of us go to jobs, we work in the office, we go to the grocery store, we have to clean our house, we have to run around and take our children to places, we have to do all the sort of daily life things. So my question is, can you see this in the same manner as you saw the bird, the flower, as you saw the laughter of a child? Can we see ourselves in our ordinary everyday life, on the computer, in a meeting, on the telephone, dealing with coworkers, working with customers, dealing with our boss, being out, dealing with people on the street, going to the grocery store. I can't tell you how many pictures I thought of. Cleaning the toilet, mowing the lawn, whatever it is, doing the finances, doing the taxes, whatever it is, right? But in those places, the I that I am is no less present. Spirit is no less breaking through at that moment as in the dancing and the singing and the beautiful children and the flowers. No less present. We only don't realize it because we're standing here. We fall back one step. We fall behind the thoughts, the triggered emotions, the protection mechanisms. We fall behind that and we discover there the divine, the oneness that we are, the I that I am, that is forever breaking through. Live life to the fullest. Spiritual living. We call it the Center for Spiritual Living for a reason, because we want to live from our spiritual center to the best of our ability in every moment of every day. To recognize that when we answer the phone, we are God speaking to God. And when we do our work, whether it's in an office or in a warehouse or in a retail space or wherever it is and whoever we're with, whether we're home with our families, with our children, whether we're scrubbing the floors or making the dinner or running them around, or we're dealing with our mother or our in-laws or whomever it is, the I that I am, the you that you are, as me. Do you see? Becoming conscious and aware that I show up as me, the divine as me, the divine as me. And as we live more and more and more in that place, we are living more and more fully and more free. Let us pray. So just taking a breath with me, just taking a breath with me deep within. That centering breath that takes us right to the source. The centering breath that takes us to the center within, that is the center within everything. In that moment that we touch that center, we are touching the center of reality. And that center is right here where I am and where you are and where every being is, where all life is. There is the center. So right now we breathe into the center and we discover there the infinite divine reality. We discover the love and the light and the life and the joy, the peace, power, and beauty, the abundance, the wholeness, all that we will ever need right there. As we breathe into that place, we breathe it out into the world. We breathe it out into the world through our actions, through our words, through our work, through our love, through our hands and eyes and voices. We breathe it out in every way that we show up in the world as we show up conscious and aware. So this morning I affirm collectively and I declare collectively for all of us that we are aware, that we know the truth of who we are, that we live life full out from that inner place of center, that inner divine reality which is breaking through us, breaking as us into the world. We know that as we do so, we are living in the light. Our being is the light. We become the light. We bless with the light. And we discover that all there is light and love, joy, and a deep sense of the presence. We allow ourselves to rest in this truth. We rest in it so deeply that we can move into our lives confidently and calmly and clearly, simply knowing the I that I am and the you that you are forever one. Forever one. One in the one. We're so grateful that we know this. It's such a blessing. We simply allow it to be the place that we stand, the place in which we rest. We call it good and very good. We let it be. We let it go now, since we know this truth.